This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Blackwater White Death. It's one of the scenarios in Terror Australis, and it's available from Chaosium. It was written by Phil Anderson. Our keeper of arcane lore is Keith Craig, and this is episode 1. Before we begin, I want to mention that our club gets most of its funding through our Patreon site. Your generous contributions help pay for our websites, our club space, and everything that goes into our video production. It's your support that keeps us going, and we deeply appreciate it. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Keith?
All right. Thank you, Tom. So it is fall of 1926, Australian fall, so it is in March. All of you are in Melbourne, Australia, and you all have received this telegraph from your friend, Dr. Let me get his first name, Dr. Charles Burnham.
Require a favor. Auction at Leonard's on Collins Street, Thursday. Noon includes journal collection must acquire. Lot. 34 journals of Mr. Clarence Dixon. Believe contains first-hand example Wendigo psychosis manifestation. Will pay up to £20 if you succeed. Will rendezvous in Strahan and pay on delivery plus recompense your trouble. Professor Charles Burnham.
All right. So, you guys all know each other. You know Professor Burnham. He is a professor of anthropology who is in Tasmania. So just the island just a little bit south of the city of Melbourne. He was injured in the Great War. He lost his left leg, and also he doesn't travel as much anymore. And all, but he's always his particular area of study is in cannibalism. Obviously, the Wendigo psychosis, which is the need to eat human flesh and all. So, you guys will meet up at the auction house. It is at Leonard's Auction House, which is a stylish 4-story faux Gothic Victorian building. When you arrive, the staff members they ask to take your coats, and they give you a number to bid. And they're like going, feel free to browse the items that are up for sale. When an item comes up for bid, if you wish to bid, just raise your number, and we will count the bid for it. Goes, enjoy yourselves, gentlemen.
So are the items in display right now, and then they do the auction? Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Come along, Edward. You're falling behind. Let's look at the artifacts and
Not
you all
as spry as
see.
I used to be.
Well, none of us are as young as we used to be. Come along now.
And you see this ancient, thin-looking Chinese man with a cane just hobbling along, and waving at Edward.
Hey, slow down.
I'm slowing already.
What's available in the hall right now from artifacts or stations?
There's some memorabilia from the Eureka Rebellion, which was a workers' uprising against colonial rule. There's still an authentic piece of one of the flags that were used by the rebels and all. there was lots of writing and all, and there's a lot of things because Australia was founded as a prison colony. There's a lot of writing and memorabilia from a lot of the prison colonies and everything.
Any familiar faces that we know is in the same field, people that might be bidding for the same kind of things we are?
Maybe some people you recognize from universities and all, but mostly academics and all.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna just kind of lay back and just wander the crowds and see if there's any talk about the journals that we're about to bid on. Kind of gauge the interest in the room. Yeah, how much are we going to go on this?
I think £20 is as much as, Dr. Burnham's willing to offer. So I guess we get to keep the difference if we could bid lower.
I'm not so sure, though, that
You cheat.
many people are going to be interested at all in those journals. I mean, it's kind of the way we all end up, isn't it? We all end up as little bits and pieces for people to put into their little collections at home. It's kind of sad, really.
It's a very bleak way of looking at it, young man.
Very humdrum.
Well, I think we're all getting closer and closer to that threshold.
I feel called out. Do you feel called out, Edward?
Hey, I'm never going to die.
Unlike this big, strong man over here.
And I poke teasingly at Mac.
What a hunk.
If we were trying to elicit money out of this, we could all start a bidding war between ourselves and
That's
make people
yeah.
think. But
Let's
we're
have
trying
one
to do the
of us-
opposite.
One of us will be bidding.
Perhaps we should. I like the idea of walking around and seeing if anybody else is interested.
Yeah, let's bingo.
We could talk about the journals being fake. Spread some rumors.
Do they serve beer at these kinds of events? I can't say I've been to an auction before.
Oh, they of course have beer and alcohol here.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I'll go flirt with the bartender.
All right.
Assuming he's a woman.
So we'll say if you're trying to find out if people are interested in the journals, give me a combined psychology and spot hidden.
Okay.
So you just
Ooh. So pass spot hidden, fail psychology.
okay. You see people looking at it, but you can't get a read whether or not they're actually interested in it. They kind of look at all of these things.
They're probably kind of plain looking, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just a stack of.
I'm going to spend 2 points of luck to pass both my psychology and spot hidden.
Okay.
Since we're only here for the book, right?
That's right. It's
Unless we
four.
see something
It's
we
actually
want.
it's actually like 4 journals. So it's what you see.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
so you do see a woman. She's in her 50s. She looks at the journal. They're obviously not allowed to touch it and all, but you get the impression that she is actually interested in lot 34.
I'm gonna sidle up and maybe talk to Edward. Oh, so did you hear? Apparently these journals are fakes. They're saying that that the guy was just completely insane, and these are even forgeries to boot.
And just start spreading rumors about it. Can I roll a
Fast talk.
a fast talk to see if I'm able to get away? All right.
End up calling more attention to them.
I'm spending 5 points of luck to pass my normal fast talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, Otto. Look at the quality of the paper. It's
Just
little-
too new. Yeah.
So when you say that this younger gentleman, probably in his upper 20s, maybe lower 30s.
Everyone's young to us. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely young to you. And he goes, You don't think that Leonard's would d- soil its good name by selling a forgery, do you, sir?
I don't know. I'm just visiting here from the United States. I don't know these guys.
Oh, well, I mean, they're quite reputable, but it's like he kind of looks at the journals. He's like, yeah, I guess they are kind of nice for someone that was supposed to have
Yeah,
written.
look at the corners over there, right? Like they're just too straight, too neat, don't you think?
Yeah, he's like going,
I mean, you
I
have better
was.
eyes than I do, so I'm sure if I could see it, you can.
Oh, of course, of course, of course. I was planning to bid on the Cooper Pepper Box pistol, but
Oh,
I was like,
that's a good choice. That's a good one.
oh, you think
That
that
one's
one's
totally authentic.
oh, okay?
yeah.
Oh, good, good. I mean, I don't want to read someone's journal and read about how they were on the chain gang or something like that. That sounds
Yeah,
boring.
you could get in trouble for that type of stuff too.
I'm going to walk by these two, Edward and Otto, and just whisper, there's at least one person over there, that older lady, is interested in these journals as well.
Get her, Mac.
Can you seduce and distract her?
More probably our lieutenant friends, probably in her age range.
About that time, you hear a little chime, and this guy steps up onto the dais on the podium. He's like going, "Everyone, grab your drinks that you would like. The auction will begin in the next couple minutes." So, the first thing that comes up to bid is a 3 by 3 inch square of Eureka flag of the Eureka flag from the Rebellion and all, and they start the bidding, and they usually kind of start off with things that going to start off a little bit slower on the bids and all, so it kind of goes along. They make their bids and everything. After about an hour of items coming through, they take a break. And when they come back, they're going to start bidding on your lot 34. Right.
All right, who's going to be the one bidding? Who can read people best?
Probably Scott.
Yes, I was here to bid on that.
Perfect.
Right. So the auctioneer steps up. He goes, and now we have lot 34. A set of 4-bound journals fitted with locks in bronze, intact and in good condition. Covers embossed with the initials CD. Keys are missing for the locks. These are the personal journals of a late Mr. Clarence Dixon, a fellow miner and close friend of the late Mr. Rory O'Brien, given to Mr. O'Brien shortly before Mr. Dixon's death. He's like, may we start the bidding at, say, 10 shillings? 10 shillings, anyone? So you see that lady lift up her bid player. He's like, I've got 10 shillings, 10 shillings. Like, anyone else out there?
Oh, to go higher, yes.
Yeah, so to go higher. Oh, so do I hear 1 pound? 1 pound. 1 pound.
1 pound.
1 pound. Okay, 1 pound. Excellent. So it kind of goes back and forth. So she bids for the 2 pound raise to you. So now he's like, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, three. Anyone with 3 pounds out there? And someone else in the audience, they bid 3 pounds for it. And then he goes, 5 pounds. Can I get 5 pounds? Anyone? 5 pounds.
Let's go 6.
6 pounds. The one guy that bid 3 goes, too much for me. He has a seat down, and then the woman stands up. She goes, I bid 10 pounds on it.
Well,
He goes, oh, 10 pounds. Excellent, excellent. He's like going, sir, 11, 12 pounds?
12 pounds.
12 pounds, 12 pounds, 12 pounds. It's going, these are beautiful, beautiful. The brass on it and stuff, well maintained and all. He goes, 12 pounds. She goes, 15 pounds. Goes, oh, 15 pounds. Excellent, excellent, excellent. He goes, sir, can I get 16 pounds out of you?
16.
And when you do that, the young man that you were talking to, Otto, talking about, he stands up and he yells at the top of his lungs. He's like, "No, you can't!" And then everyone kind of stops and they turn around and look at him, and he gets.
Did he call her?
No, he said, "You can't." Though his face kind of turns red when the entire audience, and he kind of turns and walks out.
It's okay. It's fake.
And the auctioneer goes, "Oh, so sometimes people get a little excited at these events and all." He's like going, "I believe the last bid was 16 pounds." He's like, "Ma'am," and she got
Mac next to me or close.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting right next to you. I keep elbowing you to bid the bid higher.
Give that, do a dirty look back there at this old lady.
Okay, I'll give her a stern look.
So when you do, you kind of she kind of looks into her. She gets out her like a wallet. She looks at it, and then she looks up at the auctioneer and she shakes her head. He goes, "Oh, okay." He's like, 16 pounds, 16 pounds, going once. 16 pounds, anyone for more? Going twice. 16 pounds, sold to the gentleman there with card number 10.
Okay.
He goes, all right. He goes, the next item will be lot 35. It is an authentic J.R. Cooper pepperbox pistol. Though then the auction kind of presses on from there.
That's what that guy wanted.
Yeah, that's what the guy wanted.
Yeah.
Are you going to outbid him?
We should get it for him.
Yeah, just like to make up for. He was trying to stand up for you to make sure you don't get robbed, so or conned. So
We should buy him the pistol and give it to him.
I know, right? Well, maybe we'll go up to a pound. We'll see if up to a pound.
Well, I think so. This is like some collector's pistol kind of thing, some antique pistol.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I think
really
my
nice
character
gun,
would be interested. So he'll.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We've
He'll
got
bid
4
on it.
pounds.
Okay. All right, so you bid on it. Roll me your luck there, Mac.
Although I only have like 20% credit
Okay.
rating, so I don't have a whole lot of money. I succeeded on my
Okay.
luck. Yeah.
Okay, so I will leave it up to you. You can get the pistol for 2 pounds.
Yes.
Oof.
I've wanted these. I've wanted one of these for several years now.
About $400.
Yeah, it's still expensive. Okay,
Not our money.
all right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, so the auction goes on for another hour, and then they kind of go around. They start giving out the items and collecting the money from you and everything. And they hand you there, Scott. They hand you the 4 journals, and it goes, "Here you go. This is a fine collection that you've bought." And here's the gentleman that bought the pepper box pistol, and he hands that over to you, Mac. Also,
Yeah, I'm assuming we're getting the receipts and everything and the
oh yeah, mm-hmm.
legality of it. And yeah, I have a bag ready to go to put them in and box them up.
All right.
Is the old lady still like hanging around? Is she trying to like get close to us, or?
You see, she's so like you were kind of like in the hall of the thing. You see her kind of by the entryway to the auction house.
I'm gonna saddle up to her and say, Those are fine journals for this Clarence Dixon, but Wendigos, like, fascinating, and try to see like what her interest in the books are.
She's like, Wendigo. I'm not familiar with that term, sir. It was it your friend that purchased them?
We're traveling together. What was your interest in these books? I mean, they're fine, journals, but
They were family heirlooms and all.
Are you?
Clarence was my grandfather.
Oh dear. I'm surprised Mr. O'Brien didn't give these to you and would auction them instead. Then.
Well, Mr. O'Brien, I was estranged from my grandfather. So,
I see.
but I was hoping to get back. Do you think your friend would be interested in selling them? I could give him what he paid for in today, and then £10 in 2 weeks.
I think maybe not immediately, but if we're in contact after maybe a few months, I think that would be that would not be out of question. If you're in no hurry.
Well, could you introduce me to your friend? That way
of course, come along, young lady. As I wave her over.
She walks. She does not have a limp, so she.
Crap! She outwalks me. It's like not that fast.
She walks. She approaches and she's like going. It was quite the bidding war we had there, good sir. My name is Gloria.
McIntosh, Scott McIntosh. Yes. I wasn't sure if you were gonna, outbid me there.
Oh, well, believe me, if I had the cash on me, I would have. But apparently you came a little bit more prepared. He's like, I was just talking to your friend Otto here, and I was telling him that I'd be willing to purchase these from you. I could pay you what I was bidding today, and then £10 2 weeks from now.
Let me. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm representing someone else. These are not my journals.
Oh,
But I
At
can
least
take
not
your
immediately. I
name,
think. Yeah.
and I can. I think my client. He has some research he's doing, and maybe once he looks at these journals and gets whatever he wants out of it, they may have no point to keep. So he may be willing to sell it.
okay. Well, I hope so. I mean, as I explained, they were my grandfather's journals, and
Yeah, so let me take down all of her information and contact, and yeah, I'll pass that along.
okay, yeah. And she's like,
So-
Scott
Since we don't know
McIntosh,
what's
correct?
really, since we really don't know what's in them,
Yeah.
it could just be nonsense. So
What do you know about your grandfather? I mean, how did you become so estranged? If you don't mind me asking.
He ran around on my grandmother, and so she talked not the best of him. It's not the most proud branch of the family tree, but blood is blood.
was that young man with you that spoke up during the auction?
That is my son. Yes.
Yes, he seemed out, kind of
No,
upset over this.
he knew how important it was to me and all, but that is unfortunately how things go at times. You try and purchase something, and someone has more money. I will not resort to crime like my grandfather did.
Oh dear, crime?
Well, as Mr. McIntosh said, it's very likely that he'll read through them for his research, and then he'll probably have no further use for them. He'll give them back to you.
Well, I hope that is the case. very much like to get them back.
I don't know him quite as well as some of these others, but his interest in those particular journals, it's obviously going to indicate his interest in your grandfather. He might be interested in meeting you and your son, or any other members of the family that are still around.
Who are you speaking?
I'm speaking of Scott's client.
I see. Yes, I do remember him mentioning that he was purchasing it for someone.
Burnham.
Burnham. Oh, okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
If maybe you have a card or something, we could keep in touch with you.
I
You
passed
gave
my
him a card.
information
Excellent.
to Mr. McIntosh there.
Excellent.
Well, I think we're gonna get a drink.
Okay. Well,
Local pub.
well, I bid you good day, and I will hopefully be in contact with you in a week or so.
Yeah, I'll shake her hand, give my card to her, and say yes.
And what's on your card?
It's going to be that basic, solicitor. I'm stationed in, my office is in Melbourne. So it'll be my name.
Okay.
The office.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
How about her? Did she give her information?
She just gave her name.
Okay.
She gave her name and her contact to Scott, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So we can call her if we.
Okay. All right.
I think a round of drinks is a fine idea, gentlemen. I know a pub just around the corner.
Yeah, that was intense. I'm thirsty.
All right, to the drinks. Make sure we keep a good eye on those books. So,
But whatever you do, don't ask the bartender about his bad arm. Really sensitive about it.
all right, don't ask about the bad arm.
So we're gonna
What
have
about
to take
the
a
good
boat
one?
to Tasmania.
He likes to talk about the good arm, but just don't talk about the bad arm.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds
That's a good
handy.
question. How do we get there?
Follow me. And he
Not that
Edward?
fast. As I drag him along.
Easy there,
he
Hoss.
rushes off. He turns around, everybody's gone.
I'm right there with you, Mac. I don't know about the rest, but
All right, Reggie, give us a hand. We don't want to fall behind.
Right. I believe Edward's the slowest one, so you're bringing up the rear.
Oh yeah, I'm shambling.
Perhaps I should have carried at least one, maybe two of these.
We need to
Get
get like
there
two
faster.
wheelchairs.
you
or something.
can run back and forth and grab them. I mean,
I'll walk with Edward, so he's not walking alone.
Okay. Very nice of you. All right.
Kind of curious
guys-
what's in the journals.
Yeah.
Are they thick journals?
They're not like, maybe 100 pages at most in each one.
but they're locked.
Have we flipped through them at all? Or
They're-
waiting
they're-
We can't.
They're
There's a
locked.
lock, right?
Oh,
yeah.
they're locked.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, right. So they're
I just put them in my briefcase. We wrapped them up. And just this is what we're here for.
Yeah, but when we
You know how-
get back
you know
to
how
the
you-
professor, I think we'll have the right tools to remove the lock carefully.
I'm not particularly interested in the cannibalism thing, so
That's good to know.
sounds like a little gruesome topic. So
Otto, what's a Wendigo? I keep hearing that word, but
Can I roll
You're the
ed?
folklorist.
Or I have a decently high ed, so I could speak briefly to the lore of it.
oh, you're a folklorist, so
Right.
you would.
Yeah.
Well, Wendigo is a condition. Now, the stories talk about when a man, is so very hungry, spirits inhabit him, and he goes and eats. And the tragedy, really, of the Wendigo is the more you eat, the bigger and taller and thinner and hungrier you get. So you're never full. You eat a person,
I had that
you double
problem.
in size. Oh, I would not wish that on you. Imagine eating forever and never feeling full. The tragedy of it all. But yeah, it's, we hear it more, in the New World, North America. I think that's where a lot of our stories come from. They would have shamans battling spirits and all sorts of interesting stories. Fascinating, really.
So in the book, it's treated more like a medical condition. Is this an actual medical condition?
From the stories and the lore is spirits, and you would have, medicine men, doing dances and ways to placate these spirits. Science, I can't speak as much to on the medical side.
Anyone have decent medicine?
I have like 30,
nope.
so yeah.
Yeah, you could roll it. What?
All right. Ooh, 73. Nope.
No.
I think they drill the head and poke things through the nose, and that's about it. Wait, no, that's mummification. Never mind.
Okay.
Well, it sounds dreadful.
Stories of families starving and eating each other. Terrible.
Bartender
sounds like rubbish. Sounds like rubbish to me.
Bartender brings the beer around. He's using his left hand because his right hand's all messed up and all, and he passes out the beverages for you. He's like going, there you go. Interesting conversations you have sometimes there, Mac.
Well, Oscar, these are some colleagues of mine. We were just at an auction, some sort of magical book. Don't ask me. The beer there was not nearly as good as the beer here.
Well, of course not. They water it down over there, I heard.
Yeah. Anyway, don't be a stranger. We're probably going another round pretty soon.
Excellent.
And I'll start pouring everyone up.
Have any one of you heard about like this Dixon guy or even Mr. O'Brien? Are they like famous people or are they just like randoms?
Could I do like a history check?
Yeah. You can do a history check.
Yeah.
Okay. Regular. So O'Brien, you haven't ever heard of him. Clarence Dixon is known in Australian history. He was one of the few people to ever escape from the prisons down in Tasmania and survive. There'd be prison breaks quite often because the prisons were quite brutal, and but when the reason why they had him down on Tasmanian was because the land was even harder than the prison guards, and so he was well known because he was like one of the few people to actually survive a prison break.
I mean, they must be well-to-do for Gloria to be bidding so much money just for family keepsake. Like if I had a bum grandparent who ran out on my mother, I don't know I'll spit on their grave, let alone spend, was it 15, 16 pounds for books?
Well,
that seems odd.
10 later too, so 26.
Yeah. And the reaction of the young man.
Yeah.
People are becoming enamored of their criminal past here in Australia. So she said family heirloom. That's what she said. So people become very clingy to old things.
So do we have
smoking, Edward?
Oh.
No matter where I go, I always find a good tobacconist.
Can I have a hit of that? Thank you.
Oh.
So we know the woman's interest in this law, but is it Mr. Burnham? Is that right? Or this
Yeah,
Professor
Professor
Burnham.
Burnham.
what do you think is Professor Burnham's interest in these journals?
An anthropologist.
Well, he's been studying like cannibalism and
Yeah.
so
Something about a code, right? Or something. Wasn't that in the Telegraph? And I pull it up. Was there like a mention of?
Well, that's
Yeah.
why he contacted me, mostly because of my experience in code breaking.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really gone into any details on that yet.
How would he know there's a code if it's locked?
right. Does he think the journals are encoded?
Well, I think he's thinking that there might be some clues in the journals as to the code that he may already be involved in. I don't know.
There must be a greater story.
It's a lot of
there.
money to
I
spend.
don't know.
Almost sounds like a treasure hunt. Oh, well, I found a puzzle, and I need to get the secret from this journal to unlock the puzzle, something like that.
Maybe he has some other bits and pieces of Mr. Dixon's stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. If he had something else of Dixon's that had a code, maybe he's hoping that the journals will tell him.
Right,
what
like
that code is.
it's buried at the grave of my beloved dog, and we have to find where the dog is buried or something crazy like that.
No, I would spend good money if I were Gloria to maybe erase some of this.
Oh, like expunge it from history.
Yeah,
Keep it
what
under
if
the
what
rug.
we're finding
Well,
in
that's-
these journals is pretty gruesome and, I don't know,
That's a
embarrassing.
good point. Wow. Family
People
name.
should embrace the ugliness of their own past. It's a good thing.
Hard. Yeah, it's hard to do.
Not in proper society. Not in proper society. If they run in those circles, who knows? I'm still surprised. I mean, if they're just normal people, they wouldn't be spending that much. So, like, I wonder when
we
she
don't
said
know
that
how-
branch of the
We don't know
family.
how wealthy they are.
That's true.
Very abnormal people.
All right.
Well, anyways, cheers to, a successful auction. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, the Oscar comes around with his left. He's like, "Cheers! I'll have one with you." So, okay, all right. And then after that, you guys are done having your couple pints and all, and assume you want to go back to your domiciles, or someone wants to reach out and let the professor know that you acquired them.
Do we have to? How far do we have to travel to get back to the professor?
He's in Tasmania. It's a boat ride.
So
I'm assuming we
half
have
day
tickets ready for tomorrow
steamer
to go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I think I'll just keep the books with me and take them back to my house and just spend the night and
How-
meet you in the morning at the steamer.
We'll probably get back faster than the telegram would get there.
Absolutely.
right.
I think I'll head back to my hotel room, my lodgings, and start hobbling. So at the port tomorrow morning, we head back to Tasmania.
Yes.
All right. So you guys head back and all, and get your steamer trunks packed and everything, and you lay down to get a good night's rest. And now, Scott, you can give me a listen roll.
Oh. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to spend that 10 points of luck. All right.
All right, that's no problem. So you're resting, and then you're woken in bed by your front door being slammed shut. What would you like to do?
Jump up and see what is what's going on. I do have a pistol, so I will reach for the pistol and run downstairs.
Okay. When you go downstairs, you see that your office is kind of has been ransacked. You see the trunk that you had packed has been unpacked. Your clothes are thrown everywhere, and worst, the journals are missing.
Burnham's gonna kill us.
Run outside.
With insurance.
Somebody.
Okay. But when you run outside, you see three men getting in a car. One of them looks back, and you recognize him from the auction. It's the guy that got upset.
Young man. I probably can't run to the car.
Okay.
Time.
So
I mean, I will. I'm gonna chase the car a wee bit.
Okay, yeah, but they're in a vehicle, so they. Yeah. So,
Well, I don't know who's closest to me, but I will reach out to Mac or.
Okay. Yep. Max sounds good. He's closest in my zooms there. Okay.
Middle of the night, I guess.
Yep.
Reach him at the hotel. Yeah, Mac.
Well, this is like this would be a phone call.
Yeah.
All right.
Journals were stolen. That young kid, whatever the woman's last name.
Scott, you didn't check to make sure you weren't being followed?
What for? They're just journals.
You haven't any spies
Why
on
would
inside
somebody
here.
break into my office to steal journals? Yeah, I mean,
we knew those
but-
people wanted those journals very badly.
I have the lady's name, and
Professor Burnham's going to be really upset with you.
this does not happen.
Hope you have a good explanation. All right, well, let's get the rest of the guys together. We'll try to get this figured out.
Right.
They can't have gone far.
No, I got the car. It was with two other men. Again, we know his what was his mother or grandmother?
Well, we know their name, right?
Right.
Well, if I have a word with them, I'm sure they'll get it right. I'm sure they'll give it right back. Trust me.
Sure. That's why I'm calling you.
Okay. All right. So you gather up the other three.
Yes, we'll meet at probably a hotel or something.
Stolen, you say?
That's ridiculous. Why would
Why they give
can't
you
be
their contact information and then steal it? Like, we have her contacts.
Perhaps
Sorry,
the young
Richie.
man is unhinged.
It must be. You just don't do that.
Or it's all part of an elaborate ruse.
I don't know how to check to see. Well, I mean, I guess we could call the telephone operator and at least give the woman's name that I have, and if her address was local or fairly local, see if I can get somebody call her. Get a number for her.
Okay. So yeah, when you call the operator, they go, yeah, operator, Melbourne operator. What can I do for you? How can I direct your call?
Yes, I'm looking for sorry, I don't have her name.
Oh, that's going to make it tough to make the contact there, sir.
Gloria
Brown hair.
Dixon, maybe.
Is it Gloria Dixon?
Well, I mean,
Gloria.
the guy's Dixon. I don't know if she kept the name, but
I have her name. So
You've
Gloria's
got her contact information. So.
What other contact information does she give? Like address or anything?
She gave you her name, Gloria, and her address.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you should be able to. The information was pretty. Just ask the operator, and she'll say, "Oh, here's the phone number for that address."
So,
right, like the operator for her city or whatever.
You've got the city, you've got the name.
Yep.
I mean, I'll give her that.
Yep. So when she goes through, she's like, Gloria, Gloria Walters. Is that who you were looking for?
I'm she didn't write her last name down.
She did not write her last name down.
Right.
But if you have the address, then she can.
Right, like that town, how many Glorias are in that town, that kind of thing.
If you give her the address, she goes, that address there, that is to a bar.
She works at the bar?
They were planning on stealing this all along.
Oh.
As far as I didn't know that address.
Roll bar knowledge.
Yeah.
She goes. We only have a couple Glorias in Melbourne. We got Gloria Walters, Gloria Jones, and Gloria Steinman.
Wait, we know that we would have signed up at the auction. We would have put our names down and maybe given some information to get our numbers to bid. Do I remember her number?
Yeah. Is she? What her bid number was?
Yeah, her bid number was.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do.
There's also only 3 Glorias. Just call all 3 of them and say I'm the guy from the auction.
Yeah. Find out how old they are too, if we have to. If they're born here.
Well, I mean, if we can call 3 Glorias. It's the middle of the night, but.
I mean, can we be certain that that's her actual name? I mean,
yeah, that's the thing. She gave us potentially a fake address.
Which, if that's true, then she didn't want to deal with us in the first place. She was lying to us. I mean, we practically offered to give the journals to her afterwards, but.
And she was willing to pay for it, so.
She seems like urgency. A nice lady. Let's assume that her son acted independently of her. And if you talk to her, maybe she'll say, "Oh, I'll have to make sure, that's wrong," or whatever, and give the journals back. We did pay for them.
Well,
we'll be calling the police here, too. Yeah. I mean,
or we'll have them arrested and sent to Australia. Oh, wait.
Criminals in Australia. Should have never guessed.
Known. All right, so I heard a couple options for ideas there. Which one were you going to pursue?
What time is it at this point?
It's probably 11 at night.
Okay, so
do we know anyone from the auction house, like personally? Or credit or relationship or something?
That'd be a credit.
Okay.
They're all at home and in bed.
Okay,
though.
yeah. Who's sufficiently well off?
Oh, I passed. I got
perfect.
Almost a hard.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you know that the guy that ran the auction house, that's Brent.
Yeah.
Brent.
So maybe you could reach out to Brent to get information from their register. We'll call the 3 Glorias and go from there.
All right, that sounds like a plan, because I will call Brent tonight.
Well, it's not that. Perhaps we should research this from the other angle. She did say this gentleman was her grandfather.
Yes.
Perhaps there's records on him and his family and his descendants.
True.
What day of the week is it?
Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah.
So tomorrow things should still be
records.
Open.
Yeah.
Okay. And the tickets you have for your ship, they're tickets you can move around on the sale date and everything. Okay. All right.
That's a spot of rare insight from you, Mac. Well done.
Every now and then, thank you.
We should
Must
also
be the
probably
alcohol.
contact the police.
Exactly.
There's been a break-in.
Right. My office was broken into. I'm not sure. Maybe they've taken other things. I haven't had a chance to go through it. I will call Brent at the auction house tonight to see
Okay.
that, but I'll do that from my house,
All
and
right.
then also call the police and report the break-in.
So Scott, you said you saw the young man and he had two
Two
two accomplices.
other men.
Huh.
I'll describe as much as possible. The car, as much
Mhm.
as possible. If there was a license plate.
Yeah, that's going to be a spot hidden, but you're going to need a hard to have seen it.
All right, I have a 55 in spot hidden. 29. I can spend the 2 luck to make that hard.
Okay. You did see the license plate. It was YYJ 213.
Okay. Yeah, that's
All right.
part of the police report, and
Okay.
telling, of course, the rest of the group.
So obviously the Hall of Records is not open in the middle of the night. The police will they'll take your report and everything. It's a big city, so if only journals are taken, obviously they'll file a report and all, but it's not going to be. It's not like a murder.
$2,000 worth
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. They
Well, it ain't
got it.
expensive, and I will complain. This is
We will.
my
We
office
will
was
look at.
broken into. And I may have known these officers, or
Yeah.
at least,
We're definitely going to look into it there, Mr. McIntosh and all. But
I have their license plate.
well, that will help out a great deal, actually.
Well, they're stealing from me. They're stealing from my client. I can't have this. This would be a tarnish on my reputation. This doesn't happen.
No, this will not stand. We'll get on it, and we'll get those journals back as soon as we can.
All right, I will talk to you tomorrow.
Excellent. All right. And anything else you're going to do?
He's calling the auction house guy, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. He's going to call
Yes.
Brent. All right. So the phone rings and it picks up and you hear Brent. He's got a little bit of a slur in his voice. It was a successful auction for him, and so he's like, hello.
Brent, I'm so sorry to call you so late. This is Scott McIntosh.
Yeah.
Purchased those journals for a client of mine.
Yes. I remember you paid a handsome lot.
Yes,
my
that's
my
why.
commission on that's nice.
Yes, that's why I need your help. It was broken into tonight, and they were stolen by that man that had the outburst
Oh my.
at the auction. This can't stand. This I need his name, or at least he was with a woman, Gloria. She was bidding against me on that. Her
Oh
number-
yeah, yes. I remember a distinguished older woman. Yes.
Yeah.
Just a second. Let me get out my logbook and all. And so he sets the phone down. You hear him kind of shuffling around for a bit and all. Then he comes back and he's like going, so she was bidder number 7, I believe, and Gloria. Here it is, Gloria Walters. That was who it was.
you give any other, you know her at all, or any other information? And her son?
Her son. He did not. He didn't sign up for a bid, and so we don't require a name if you're not going to be actively bidding at all.
Hmm. But nothing else. You have nothing else on her.
No, just her name. She's been there before, but this was the first time she's had been a serious bidding.
Has she bought things in the past?
Uh, yeah, a little
Yeah.
memorabilia here and there. Some things that we've imported from Hong Kong.
Please, if you can get me an address for her or some kind of contact, phone number.
Uh,
She gave me an address, but I'm not quite sure if it's real. Um,
uh, I'd have to go into the auction house for those kinds of records and all. I just keep
but I
my
understand. No, I
registry here
understand.
at the house and all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as you can, give me a call here, or I will be by.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to walk there. I had a little too much to drive.
Understandable. We had a few pints ourselves.
Uh, uh, well, well, I'll reach out to you as soon as I get some info there, Scott.
All right. Well, I'll call the hotel where they're staying
Hmm.
and give them, this Gloria Walters. And then, talking to Brent, we may have a little bit more information, but it'll take, maybe an hour or so.
Okay, right. Um, so you guys wait a bit, and he comes back, and he lets you know. He's like going, yes, I have a her address there for you, Scott. And he passes the address to you, and you recognize that is definitely in the the upper middle class part of town.
Definitely doesn't match the one that she had given me.
Oh, definitely not.
Yes. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna get in. I don't know if I have a car. I'm gonna assume I have a car and just get in the car and go back to the hotel and tell the rest of the crew.
Get the police to come with us.
Yes, I mean, I can definitely um, involve the police.
Well, it's a straightforward
We want
thing. They lost the bet, they lost the auction,
Right.
and then they broke into your house to steal what they wanted. And now we know where they are.
We know where she is. Her son is the one that broke in.
Well, we can threaten to throw the old woman into the prison if her son doesn't show up with the book.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm talking to the police right now and telling them, do we want to go that route or do we want to talk to Gloria first and then tell the police later?
We don't know that she's not a worse criminal than her son is.
That's true.
I mean, they don't live in a part of town where they would be well known, right? Like they're not a, well regarded in the industry or anything. Like now that we know her full name,
They
it
live in
doesn't.
a-
That Gloria or that Gloria Walters. It doesn't ring a bell, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
But they live in a nicer portion of
Yeah. It is a
Yeah.
nicer part of
So-
town, but not like, the
Mansion.
upper
no
1%.
mansions. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
We go in
Criminals can live in nice parts of town too.
Yeah, that's
so-
true. That's true.
Oh, I'm just trying to see if if they're well regarded enough that the police would be hesitant to take action.
I'd really just like to get the books, the journals,
Right.
tonight. And I'm afraid calling the police, it might slow us down. I mean, we've already wasted a few hours, but I think we've got a really good lead. I know the license plate. Worth just going over there now.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
might not
it
wanna-
can't hurt. Oh, go ahead, Edward.
We might not want to go in there too hot and heavy with the police, because then that'll put Gloria on the back foot, and then she won't be willing to work with us at all.
Our property is our property.
I agree.
We know 100% sure that she was involved in all this.
No,
Well, it's her
No.
son.
it's awful suspicious that she gave us a fake address and didn't provide her last name when she was so concerned about the journals. So
Right. If we acted in good faith, we would never be able to find her. Well, I guess she has your information, but that's about it. So I agree. They're malicious intent.
Right.
Premeditated. They probably thought the whole thing out. Obviously, they did. He even had accomplices came with him.
Well, I mean, still let the police know. Maybe like
I
update
was
them,
gonna say,
and then we just go. Yeah.
I'm gonna call the police, tell them that I've tracked at least the mother of the person that I saw stealing my journals, the address, all that, and the license. Again, make sure they have the license plate.
Okay.
And we are headed over there now.
If we end up dead, don't know what happened.
The police just need to moderate. They need to be.
Yeah. They're gonna send a Bobby with you. They can't. Once you've let them know, they can't. If you say you're going to go over there,
we're going.
Yeah. We're forcing their hand. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to say. Okay. Yes. We'll send an officer over there to meet to make sure nothing gets out of hand and all. If it sounds like
understandable. That's what I'm calling you for. So
okay. Oh, of course.
I have a boat to catch.
Or we could handle it our way. No.
All right. Let's and then I guess all go in your car.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, when you get to her house, it's a 2-story red brick home. The officer is standing outside of it when you arrive.
So all 5 of us are there now?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. When you get out, the officer he comes over. He's like going. He's like, "Are you the gentleman that I was told was to meet here?"
Yes, I'm Scott McIntosh. My journals were just at an auction. Journals were stolen. I did see the person who stole them. That was this Gloria's Walter's son.
He made quite a scene at the auction because he didn't get the.
Yeah, they were very upset over not getting the journals.
Do we see the car with the plate? The plate.
Yeah, that's one thing. We're looking for the plate, the car.
You don't see a car here.
Oh, they flown the coupe. Oh no.
Well, he doesn't come here. His mother's probably here.
So, officer, I just need. I have a client. These journals are his. We spent a great deal of money for these. I'm supposed to leave tomorrow morning to deliver these journals. I cannot be late.
I understand. Well, then there's no time like the present. Let's go see if she is home. He walks up the steps and he
What time? I'm sorry. What time is it now? Then
it's probably about 12:30. 12:30, 1 in the yeah. The lights are on in the house.
Lights are on.
Yeah.
Hey, Mac, do you want to go around back to make sure?
Not a bad idea.
So,
and did she mention she had like a husband or anything?
She did not mention.
Okay. I'll circle around back.
If her name is Walters, then it's not. Then she's married.
Yeah.
Or was married.
I'll circle around back.
Edward and I will take the rear.
All right.
That's all we can do.
We're coming.
Yeah. All right. After a bit, the door opens and you see Gloria. She's still in her outfit she was wearing at the auction, and she goes, "Yes, officer." And he goes, "Ma'am, this gentleman here," and he points at you, and she goes, "Oh, did you reconsider my offer, Mr. McIntosh?"
I would have if the journals hadn't been stolen by your son.
What?
And this address and contact information that you gave me is clearly not the same.
Oh, well, you must understand a woman living by herself doesn't want to give up.
No. No. I gave you mine. You know, I'm a reputable person in this city. If you truly wanted these journals, you would have given me your accurate contact information.
Oh,
so you had no intentions. You had no intentions.
Oh, I wanted the journals. I guarantee that.
Well, I know. You sent your son to steal them from me.
Oh,
Contact your son, and we won't press charges if he gives us the journals. Otherwise, we will seriously press charges.
No, let's not be hasty. I try to, play good cop,
Yeah.
Well, let's see what she has to say. And then we can get her arrested.
The officer goes, he's like, if the journals are here, they are this gentleman's property. You acknowledged it when you said that you'd be willing to buy them from him. She kind of looks around, and with the three of you plus the cop there, she kind of gets a little depressed. And Mac, you can go ahead and you kind of looking in the back windows there. And Edward, you went around back also.
No, we're hobbling slowly here.
Oh, you guys are bringing up the rear.
That's what we meant in the rear. Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you. I misunderstood that. Okay, so Mac, when you're looking in the rear window, you see the guy from the auction, Frank. You see him. He's messing. It looks like he's trying to break the locks on the journals.
I'm sorry. Who's Frank?
That's the son.
That's the son. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Get him, Mac.
So I see him through the window with the item we're looking for. He's trying to jimmy open the.
Yeah. He's trying to.
You're like, hey, you want this pepper box?
There, Mac.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, this is the easiest case ever to crack. Wow.
Yeah.
I should have been a detective. Okay, I'll circle back around front.
Okay. And she's like, look, my son got a little overeager, is all. It's like going,
Officer, I just saw her son inside with the stolen item.
He goes, oh, we did. You like going, ma'am, if these stolen property is here and you're escalating the chances of you being charged with a crime much more. And she kind of hangs her head, and she calls back. She's like, Frank, can you come here? And so he comes. You see that the guy that broke into your house? He comes there. He's like, yes, mother. She's like going, the jig is up.
We are very disappointed in you, young man. And I wave a finger, in condemnation.
You're gonna pay for this.
Yes, you're gonna be paying for my broken lock and the mess you left, or you'll go to jail.
I thought you said you were not criminals like him, Gloria. I thought you said you were not criminals like him.
I'm sorry. I just.
It's a moment's lapse,
Yeah.
I know.
She's like, go get the journals for them, Frank. Goes, but mother, we can't let them see it. She's like,
They
no.
belong to us.
And
We can't even open it.
The cop agrees. So he goes back and he brings the journal. You see that one of it he has broken the lock on.
But he's got all.
Check to see
We
if
have
he's-
all four.
Yeah, he has all
Check to
four.
see if he's torn out any pages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank's allowed to see him, I see.
I hand Edward a pair of gloves as well as both of us put on, gloves to make sure we don't damage the book.
Yeah, I'll give them to Otto or Edward to.
All right, here you go, Edward. I mean, your eyesight's probably somehow better than mine.
Yeah, when you kind of flip through it, yeah, they're definitely old from the early 1800s. And yeah,
yeah.
maybe more mid 1800s. It's 1840s. So you kind of flip through, but there's no like ripped out pages or anything. When you look at it, it just looks like weird, like if it almost looks like hieroglyphics.
Your grandpa wrote this?
She's like, she's like, that's what I understood, and all. She's like, I haven't been able to see them yet.
How the hell old is your grandpa? Look at this.
Right, and why were you so worried about us seeing it if you don't know what's in it, Frank?
And he goes,
Frankie.
look, it's like going. There was rumors about my grandfather that he survived in Tasmania by doing some unspeakable things, and he
did.
also, what?
I'm
What's
sure
that
he
say?
did. You have a disgusting bloodline.
Oh, well, I mean, we're quite proud of our bloodline, except for maybe that one little branch. But he also had some treasure that was rumored that he hid away.
Why don't we discuss this inside over some tea, maybe? I'll talk to the officer. We'll set this straight. I'm assuming you'll pay for whatever damage your son caused,
16
and
pounds.
we'll let this go. Right?
Yes.
All right. So I'll talk to the officer. We'll then let them go in and get all the questions you want.
Where are your two friends? Are they also in the house?
Oh, no, they were just some local thugs I hired if I got in.
Don't give me that. They're waiting in the alleyway to jump us.
I turn to the Bobby and I'm like,
Yeah.
You're getting all this down, aren't you?
Oh, of course. It's like
Alleyway being jumped, all right.
yeah.
I can't outrun them.
Yeah.
So are we in the house at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll just tell the Bobby we're not gonna right now. I'm not gonna press charges.
he's like, "Do you feel okay?" There,
I
Mr. May.
think we'll be fine.
Oh no. My ire is way up here. I don't even know why we're in this house talking to these criminals. Bobby stays.
Yeah, maybe keep an eye on Reggie here,
Crime
officer.
is crime.
Yeah.
Frankie, you made a mistake. You pissed off Reggie.
I'm not even have no vested interest in the whole
And he
thing.
says angry.
Well, you know what,
just-
Frank? Look at these. These look like codes. And then we,
Ex-military.
Worse than a man who doesn't know why he's upset.
Yes, and we have we can catch our boat tomorrow. None of this unfortunate incident. It'll just be a nice story that we'll tell over some, cognac.
And I think the professor would still be open, Gloria and Frank too, after we're done with the documents,
Well,
giving it back, and we're not gossips, whatever's in there. I don't think the professor's in the business of spreading bad family rumors about you if you're worried about that.
Wait, you said that. Frank goes, "There's nothing in there. My grandfather was just a horrible artist. Look at it. It's just a series of pictures."
Who wants to look at it?
Really?
I'll look because he's probably flinging around. What does it look like?
It looks like a bunch of iconography.
Do I recognize it from occult folklore? Any symbols that I could roll occult on?
Yeah, if you can roll occult.
Yeah. Ooh. All right. 36, and my occult is 40. Okay, so I'm good. Normal pass.
Nope, you don't recognize it.
Yeah, they're not symbols. Yeah, you're right. He sucks as an artist.
Oh,
What about the other books? You want to open them too?
You
got the
want
one
to break
open.
the locks.
Yeah, I had to break them open.
Might as well open the other ones.
It's like,
Otto, we don't. These don't belong to us.
No, these. I am trying to send the Bobby.
Right. Fair enough.
We're done, and then, but while you're in there, is there anything else on the grandfather that maybe we can take to the professor that might help?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm just kind of scanning the room. Are there like pictures?
Yes,
there are
father stuff like that, or
there are pictures of older people. If you ask her, she tells you she does not have a picture of Mr. Dixon, though. She has a from her other side of the family.
Dixon's icky.
Right. No. She's like, the best I know about my grandfather Dixon was that he got involved in the gold rush, and then he went to prison with a Joseph Foytier, and the two of them along with another man. I never learned the other man's name. They were the ones that had escaped from the prison.
Fortier, is that a French name or a French-Canadian name?
I don't know.
We'll need to look into it, don't you think? And see what it's all about.
Exactly. I'm sorry. My grandmother wouldn't talk about him, and so he was just a shame. But we had heard that he'd made his fortune in the gold rush, but he hid it away before he went to prison.
Well,
you suspect it's buried somewhere? Is it?
Or stashed in some bank account that we don't know whose name he put it under or something. But
sounds like why you're so interested in these journals, not to uphold your family reputation, but to maybe find this gold.
Well, I mean, there are practical reasons, of course.
Yes. Anything else, gentlemen? I mean, it's late. We've got a boat to catch tomorrow.
Yeah, hide the journals when we get back.
I'll give them to Mac.
Yeah.
He's
not a bad idea.
He can watch them. So, yeah, I'll put them back in my briefcase, close them up, hand them to Mac, drop you 4 off at the hotel, and try to get my house back in order and get ready to leave tomorrow.
I'd probably leave him in the taxi, so.
Yeah. Crap. All right. Okay. All right. So, in a few shorter hours than you would have liked for your rest and all, it's time to catch the ship, the SS Lungana, which will be leaving Port Melbourne and headed to Burnham in Tasmania. It is a 15-hour sail.
Oof. We can catch our rest there.
Mm-hmm.
For about 15 hours, I share tales of my adventures in Tasmania and all the exotic animals I've killed.
I got the very slightest look at the interior of that one broken journal, only because you guys were flashing it around. I'm curious, would you mind if I took a look at that? Maybe it's a code and not a language.
I hand him a pair of gloves. Be careful with those.
That's why you're here, right? They're
let's
open.
assume,
That one's open.
I assume that's why he wanted me in the first place, but I thought it was another code.
All right.
And then I start talking to Mac. So, like, the animals you hunt, after you skin them, how are you treating the hide? Because, traditionally, and I talk about how, like, the Aboriginals used to treat it and then see how he handles it and just, talk shop that way.
Yeah. All right. And Reggie, do you have any cryptography?
I've got code breaking.
All right. Yeah. Give me a roll on that.
I got 40 out of 65.
Ooh.
Okay. So looking at it, it is definitely a code. You can recognize the patterns and everything in it. It's not like a simple letter replacement code, though.
Right.
So
okay.
right. So it's a little bit more in depth than that. That was a regular. So it's a code. You know that it could be broken. It could take quite a while unless you can find a reference to get you started and all, because that's generally with codes.
I'll generally go through the one book. I don't want to open the other ones because I don't want to break them, but maybe there's a primer in here, but the primer could be in one of the other books too.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying I don't find a primer, so.
Right. Yeah. With that.
But I do try to copy down the different letters. I'm assuming that each one means something. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe you're telling me that there's not 26, so it's probably not English.
No.
Could be something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps French.
I'm sure if we get the other two, maybe like with more puzzles, you'll be able to solve it, like the other two journals, once we get back to the professor and his lab.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to have to break these locks off too.
Oh, delicately. We don't want to damage it.
Well, they're not Leonardo da Vinci's lost manuscripts. They're just,
You don't want to be missing a symbol when you're trying to decipher, yes?
we could make copies of them, of course, before we ever... Wait, do we have mimeograph yet?
26? I don't think you do.
Might be a little early.
1926?
We might have some versions of it, but
Yeah.
we could take photos.
Photos.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah, they do. 1926 mimeograph machine duplicator. Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Maybe not
None of us
Tasmanian.
can break or open locks, I assume.
It'd be a locksmith.
No, I don't. We should give them to
Right.
what's his name?
I'm just asking.
I'm sure the lab has people that does this for a living. They're archaeologists and anthropologists.
Yeah. All right. Who's got the worst luck?
Ooh.
Oh.
60.
45.
I have absolutely no luck because I never rolled
Oof,
it.
that's really bad.
Roll for 0.
3d6.
So you suffer 10 hours of diarrhea on the...
I got 65.
Okay. So I heard 45 as the lowest number I heard. All right. Well, and go ahead and give me a luck roll then.
Whoever had the lowest.
Max, I think.
That was Mac. Spent it all fighting.
Probably got watered down beer. That's what he gets.
That's a big fail.
Ooh,
Okay.
really watered down beer.
All right. So
Spilled my beer. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm unlucky.
about
Roll the
8
insanity
hours. 8 hours into the trip, the storms in the South Ocean they kick up. They really start rolling the ship around, and all of you can give me con rolls to not get seasick.
My con of 40.
Super success.
I passed regular.
Oh,
I'm hurling all over the place.
Holy
All
crap. 27. I passed.
I got an extreme for that.
I-
silliness.
I should have an advantage there because I was in the Navy.
Yeah,
You were, yeah.
you're.
Yeah. So Edward, with you being seasick and everything, you don't get any rest and stuff. So for the next day, until you can get a good night's sleep, you're going to have like penalty dice on physical and activities because you're pretty much just like been up almost over 24 hours straight now.
It's okay, Edward. It's not like you were going to be running laps anyways.
Yeah.
Get cranky if I don't get my nap.
Oh, I know what you mean. My back hurts.
Right. But it eventually the ship docks at Burnham in Tasmania, and you see standing on the dock, you see this older gentleman. He's got like a sign, with your names on it, and all.
Are we expecting him, or is it?
It's Professor Burnham. So the guys that were friends with Professor Burnham, you recognize him and everything. So
And he's standing. So
he is standing, but
Why would he need to write our names if we know him?
like Scott or something, because he's just a nice guy.
Making us feel special.
That's right.
Otto, be a dear and help me off the boat.
Oh, of course, of course. All right, here you go. You can borrow my cane just for now.
Does it?
Yeah, you have 2 canes now.
What was Professor Burnham's first name?
Charles. Yeah.
Charles.
Charles, and I'll
He goes,
bear hug the guy.
"Oh, wonderful to see you," and all. He's like going, "Careful! I'm still getting used to this metal peg leg they've given me."
Wow. Do we have a story to tell?
Yes, we do.
Oh, well, I'm excited to hear it, but why don't we first go have a little I knew you'd be suggesting that, Mac.
I know one right nearby, actually.
Oh, yeah, that one always pours in strong. So that's can everyone handle a nice little drink?
Edward and I aren't here yet. We're still on the ship.
A little slow going.
It's a little bit slow.
It was a long boat ride, yes.
Edward, you're looking quite peaked. Did the ocean going not agree with you, my friend?
I didn't get a wink of sleep.
He was puking all night.
Oh,
Mayor.
I'm sorry to hear that and all. You've always been susceptible to seasickness. I find it fascinating that you chose to come all the way from North America to here with your weak stomach. But
No one accused me of being smart.
of course. He's like going, "Well, come on. The drinks are on me."
Yeah, after the night we
Bender
had.
here.
Dragging Edward.
I'm curious what Professor Burnham's movement rate is. It's probably not good.
He's a 3, so Officer
It-
hobbling along.
It's a 4, so yeah,
Okay.
he's like, so yeah. So you guys,
All 3 of us.
when he gets to the pub, Mac's probably already on his second drink because it took him so long to get there. And but he pulls up a seat and he's like going, he gets out a check and he hands it to you, Scott, and he's like going, "Here you go. I believe you will find this compensation and a little bit more for your troubles and all.
Thank you.
Divided amongst yourself."
Oh, we had trouble, all right.
Oh, you did. What do you mean by that, Otto?
I point at Scott. You tell him it's your house.
Yes, I guess we met some family members of this Clarence Dixon.
Oh.
And
you
they
did.
really, really wanted these journals back. And I suspect they were talking about just the tarnish to their family reputation, that he may have written some things in there that, he shouldn't get out to the public. But I think after talking to them, which was quite an adventure finding their place and whatnot. It sounds like it's more they're concerned with a family treasure and finding this supposedly buried gold.
Oh, yeah. So, don't we all have buried treasures somewhere in our family history that is going to save us all from our bankruptcy?
Exactly. But they did break one of the locks and did open one of the journals.
Oh, they did. Oh.
I'll show them the one that is open.
He takes it and he starts flipping through. It's like fascinating. He's like going, well, Reggie, this is why I brought you along. As I suspected, it would be in a code. The prisoners would often write that way, so the guards couldn't see what they were doing, and they could talk amongst themselves without interference at all.
Well, I had a bit of time to look at it. I could tell it was some sort of code, but it'll take me a bit of time to figure it out. Plus, I haven't seen what's in the other journals. There may be a primer. You don't by chance have a primer to his note-taking?
We have a collection of some of the known ciphers at the library and all, which
excellent.
Good place to start.
So,
He's like,
what's your interest in this Clarence fella, Charles? Is it because he's famous for being able to, break out of prison, or like what's your interest in this?
oh well, as you know, I'm writing a paper on on cannibalism and the Wendigo psychosis and all, and what it's been rumored is that Charles Dixon's friend Joseph Fortier was a cannibal, and that he was thrown out of Canada when for having the Wendigo psychosis.
That's fascinating. So this Fortier is a native. Was he a white man that developed?
He was a French Canadian.
Oh, that's interesting. I've only seen most cases being again natives, and we thought it was cultural. Interesting that a French Canadian or a Métis would also be suspect to that type of psychosis.
I agree, and that's why I find it so fascinating. If that's the case, then I could prove that it wasn't genetics. It might have been some other. Maybe it was a virus or bacteria or something
absolutely.
That could have
biological. You think?
Yeah,
fascinating.
Exactly. Yes. Not just passed down through culture. Well,
At this point, I recognize one of the waitresses, and I excuse myself from the table.
okay.
It's like, how you doing?
Yeah. All right.
And we keep nerding out on shop talk.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. After a bit, he does suggest, he's like, well, are any of you skilled at picking locks, or should we just get out a chisel and break these open?
They're usually not very strong. You could snap them off.
Yeah.
Do they have any value to you other than the fact that they are? Well, we did tell that woman, despite the fact that she was a criminal, that once you're done with your research, you might not care and let the family have them back. But,
at a cost, she's willing to pay.
Yeah, I mean, help with your research grant, your funding. You're always worried about funding.
You could recoup some of these costs.
Yeah.
Well, let's not become the criminals that bilked the old lady, but yeah.
But they couldn't read what was at least the one journal. If it's all in this code, you say, I don't think it, unless we tell them that the secrets of this code, if we can break it.
I mean, it's an heirloom. That's all it is to them, according to,
I've got maybe 1% of the lock picking.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in a bar, so I'm sure there's like, well, that or are we in that much of a hurry? I'm sure back in the lab you have plenty of
we
people
we can
yeah.
we'll obviously be able to get a locksmith to open it up. I'm just excited. I'm just excited by the prospect and all.
They're just leather bound. We should be able to just pop the little rivets on the,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know. Here, let's see. We're in a pub. We'll just grab a butter knife.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do it on one of it opens up, and when you open it up in there, this one, it looks like it's got the same cipher on it and everything. Okay. All right.
So the
And
same
I'll
cipher.
yep. I'll let you do another code breaking roll because now you've gotten some more references kind of with it and all.
Now that you've told me that it's a prison code, that's interesting. Couldn't be too sophisticated, could it? If it's made up by prisoners. Oh no, it's still I don't have enough information. Let's get the other ones open at least.
Yeah. So
It'll just take me a while. I'm not. It took us years to crack the German code.
yeah. All right.
It says the gold is in the.
Oh.
The toilet? What?
Oh my goodness. All right. So after a couple pints and all, the professor's like going, well, I'm sure you've all had a long day on the ship and all. If you want, I've arranged for a room for all of you at the Macquarie Harbor Hotel for you to stay at and all, and we can work on this in the morning. I know that Edward, he could maybe use a little more time on solid land.
He's like asleep in the bar stool.
Wake up, Edward.
You guys hear a bit of a commotion from across the bar, and you look up and see this waitress throw a beer in my face.
Where am I?
Okay.
And I kind of skulk back towards the table.
Yeah.
She's still upset about her sister. Damn.
Oh man. He's like, I don't know how you do it, Mac. I guess after a while you get used to hearing the ladies say no.
The man that can take rejection well.
It's a life skill. It's a life skill. I hand him like a towel or a napkin or something. Yeah. So Matt, can you tell like what the leather, like, can we tell what animal is from? Is it just normal leather or something else?
Would
Your
that be
skins, yeah.
Natural.
I have Outback 40%?
Sure.
All right. I created the skill. And I failed.
All right. Yeah, it looks like leather, but like with the fail, you're like, man, yeah, book leather.
All right. All this talk of cannibalism just gets me in all sorts of grisly moods. I apologize, gentlemen.
All right. So, Professor Burnham's like going, well, shall we say 9 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Sounds good.
9 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
Does he take the journals?
He does.
Okay, that's what I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
I will spend some time going over my notes that I took when looking at the stuff and see if anything suddenly. I'm trying to think like a low-educated prisoner.
Right.
Who,
okay. Give me intelligence.
Okay.
So when are we going out for the buried treasure?
Well, I got a 45 out of 75, so that's still
Okay.
just a regular.
Okay. Yep. But you'll start getting like some bonus dies on your code breaking. Okay.
I mean, you'd think I've got 65 in it, but I'm just not rolling as well.
Yeah, you're just not rolling. That's all right.
I could hear
Get it.
Edward moaning in the other room all night long.
All right.
I'm sawing logs.
Yeah, that's what you really hear. All right. So the next day arrives. It's a beautiful fall day and everything, and the professor's at the at the university library waiting for you.
Good morning, Charles. Good to get a good night's sleep. Edward,
Oh,
come on, come on.
Where are we going?
What? We're at the university already. Are you still half asleep?
I already graduated, thank you.
Yeah.
with Professor Burnham, you see a older lady. Looks like your stereotypical librarian. She's got like the half rim glasses, the gray hair up in a bun, and everything. And she's brought over a couple this stack of books and all.
Thank you, young lady.
That down. She's like, "Oh, you're too kind. Thank you." She's like, these are a collection of all the known prison ciphers that were used through for the decades that the prisons were here and all. She's like, enjoy.
Assuming that you have all of them.
Hence why all the known ones.
I can at least get, there's going to be a lot of similarities and a lot of styles, and I could see what they were going for and how they were constructing them. So I'll look at them. Very interesting codes.
But at the same time, the prison rival gangs won't want each other cracking their codes, right? So it might not be too similar.
Well, I don't think, who would they be writing to if it wasn't to one another?
Right, but like within the prison, there will be rival gangs. That's what I meant.
Were there back then?
Oh yeah,
it's always tribalism's always there. Yeah,
there's always been gangs.
I'm going to follow the librarian back.
Okay.
The gold story is pretty interesting. Do you have anything on this Clarence Dickinson?
When you say that, she goes, "Oh yes, Clarence Dixon, sort of like a I don't know if you'd call him a local hero, but like Jesse James in America, you know how they've kind of lionized him, even though he was a criminal and all. He was the only survivor of the Fortier gang. They escaped in 1832, I believe. Yeah, he was a nasty one. That one. Him and Mr. Fortier, they murdered the overseer and snuck off with a third member of the gang and all. Dixon was recaptured a few years later, and but he somehow got out of being hung. People thought maybe he just bribed his way out of it. Oh.
So he was a minor before he was put in prison?
Yeah, he was a member of the mining company that was down here and all. Yeah.
How about Fortier? Who was he before?
Fortier, he was she's like, what I know of him, he was just a criminal all around. He ran out of Canada, came down to here, and was running local protection rackets and all, and was thrown in jail for beating a man to death.
So the two of them were in jail at the same time.
Yes, they were.
Perhaps this cipher is some sort of communication between the two.
Well, I'm thinking that
Adventures.
that the miner himself probably wasn't that clever, but Fortier may have been clever. Maybe this is his, in which case this might be French derivative of, French Canadian.
Assuming Clarence would know
Uh,
French. But
I mean, if
I'm
they
more
were,
curious
it,
on the mining company that he was working for and where that location is and how the mining do. I'm gonna do some research on all that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna research the mining company. Okay. Um, how about you, Mac? Were you gonna ask more questions or go down a certain line of thought?
You said we're at like a library?
Yep. Yeah. You're at kind of it's a small university, but the university library there. You can gossip too right, with locals and all if you wanted to. Also.
I'll go to the pub and gossip with locals.
Okay.
That seems to be what I'm good at.
That's good stuff
As
there.
long as there's no ex-girlfriends around.
Oh yeah, that'll be a luck roll. and,
Damn, another one.
and Reggie, what were you going to be doing?
oh, I'm still going over all of this. I think I'm starting to think if he was really friends with Fortier, maybe Fortier is the key, the name, and I'll start working on it. I'm hoping that it's not in French. I'm not very good at French, but if it's in English, because I guess what's his name was English,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Dixon. Was it Dixon? Dixon.
Yep. Charles Dixon, Clarence Dixon. Sorry, I was
Clarence
getting
Dixon,
Burnham.
yeah.
I was getting
Yeah.
Charles
Burnham.
is, yeah.
So I'm still working on that. Do you want me to
Okay.
roll again?
No, we will in a bit. And Otto.
Otto's gonna be looking into, because all the talk of cannibalism, he's gonna look for, because we're in the university library, records in Tasmania between that 1830 whatever and now, right? Of spats of unusual disappearances, gruesome deaths, just things like that. Just because
Okay.
you got him thinking about grisly, gruesome deaths.
Okay. All right. So we'll do. Oh, yep. Mac.
And so the prison is near the town, or is it off some distance
It was
away?
off. It was south of here.
Like middle of nowhere, right? That way,
Yeah.
even if they escape, they
Yeah.
can't go anywhere. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Okay. All right, so Mac, you go to the local pub there, and you're kind of talking with people. So you can they're sitting around chatting with you, and of course they're having a good time. And now they're talking. You know that logging is now what they do to is the main driver of the economy here now. The mines pretty much kind of were spent over years of being mined. And so they're sitting there talking around, and one of the things you hear and mentioning is that every once in a while they'll send out some geology teams out there to see if they can find some workable mines again and all. And one of them is talking about how last year, a party of geologists got lost, and they've never been seen. They haven't been seen again since. Well, they're like going, yeah, it's pretty rough. They went out there, and that was remember last year there, Mac, how bad how bad the winter was, and all. It's extremely cold and sad that they lost and all, but it sounds like they're going to keep out there looking around, see if we can find some good mining. Because I don't know, I get tired of having to cut down trees all the time.
So this is something I overhear, or I'm actually having a
Just
conversation.
kind of like gossiping in the pub and all.
So he said
No.
he said it was unseasonably cold.
Yep. Last winter was, yeah. You remember last winter it was snowed a lot. It was really cold down here. Cold last year.
I'm going to
No.
ask the barkeep that if you can confirm that, was it really, because we were talking about the Wendigo and famine, right? That was a
Mm-hmm.
previous. Let me double check that with the barkeep. I was like, barkeep, I heard
Yeah.
this group over here say it was unseasonably cold last winter. Is that true?
Oh yeah, it was insane. It got down into the -20 Celsius and stayed that way for a few days. You remember the snow didn't even melt until we were well into the summer months.
That's not commonplace. Hmm.
Hmm.
Very
No,
interesting.
no, yeah, it made it a little tough on the town. It's a little hard. The rivers were frozen, so we couldn't move the logs as easily. And also, just definitely we took quite the hit, the economic hit from it.
Hmm. All right, another round, and I'll make a mental note to share this with my friends.
Oh, of course, of course. Okay.
When this was last winter, he said. So this is
Yep.
March, so
Winter of
about
yeah,
2 months. Okay.
25. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Scott and Otto, you can give me a library use for what you're researching.
Oh, why? That's at least a hard.
30 under 55, so normal for me.
Okay. All right. And Edward, Scott's researching the mining company. Otto's kind of researching stuff about like uh, anything that took place from 1832 on, like some violence and all. What were you going to be doing during that time? Whereas Reggie's working on the code, trying to break the cipher.
How much do we know about the Fortier guy, and is he significant in any of this?
If you want to try and do some research on him, then that'd be a worthy thing to do some research on.
Sure.
Okay, give me a library use.
All right. I rolled a 1.
Oh, all right.
I hope this guy's important.
Yeah, he's just a name. Okay, so Scott, so what you find out about the mining company? They were active in this area until about 1840. And then they close up because they weren't getting as much metal out of the land, and that there was a series of uncommonly cold winters and all. And a lot of the miners, they complained they weren't getting paid enough to go out into that extreme cold. And then they started talking about seeing some wild men of the mountains roaming around, and they were quite afraid. And if they weren't going to make enough money to feed their family, it wasn't worth freezing to death and running into these creatures that were out there. And then Otto, you were kind of looking up like strange cases of violence and all. So
Right, cannibalism, just like that kind of stuff, especially.
you find a couple things. In 1882, a couple of loggers who are known as piners in this part of the country, they were out working the forest near the Gordon River, and they weren't hurt. They didn't come back to their camp. And when people went out to find them, all of them were found mauled and partially eaten, but they couldn't figure out what type of animal would have taken the bites out of them.
Okay. So, and like similar cases like that, or just this one being the most notable?
That was the most notable.
Okay.
And then for Edward with a 01, Joseph Fortier, his thing here. So Joseph Fortier, he was born in Canada in 1799, and he, like I said, he was kind of a thug throughout Canada. And when he got out of there, because after a while you just kind of like are no longer welcome and stuff. When he left, it was believed that he killed a couple people. Their bodies were found dismembered, but he got out of Canada before anyone could press charges against him. Then he got sentenced to 20 years at Sarah Island Penal Colony here in Tasmania. Last that he was heard from was when Dixon was captured. He claimed that Joseph Fortier had ate the other man they escaped with, a George Whittle.
And Dixon was at the same prison.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Is the prison, the mine, and Gordon River near or close to each other? I don't know the geography quite well.
That would take a little research to find out where all that was.
Okay.
And finally, Reggie, give me your code breaking, but you get a bonus die on this because you've been working at it and kind of.
Okay, first roll 004. Let's see if I can do better.
Yeah. Probably not.
Oh my God. My second number is 009. Not
nice.
Better, but both of them excellent.
Good. All right. Let me pull up the handout on that.
Eureka!
He's like, well, I can't make out any of this. Hey, guys, I have to go. And then he just leaves with the treasure.
I'm out of here. Okay. All right.
Gold is here.
It's under the giant W.
Oh, that's a good reference.
Notes from Clarence Dixon's journal, the location of where Fortier, Dixon, and Whittle overpowered their overseers and escaped. A small logging coup near the mouth of the Gordon River and south end of Macquarie Harbor. Dixon states that even though the overseer was unconscious and could not have followed them, Frontier drove his logger's axe into the man's head, splitting it in two. Gruesome. A description of Joe Fortier. Fortier was slim and wiry. His gaunt face was nondescript except for his mouth. In past times, he'd been cut at either side of his mouth, leaving a smiling scar that ran nearly from ear to ear. He was at one moment charming and friendly, but the next he'd be full of suspicion, his eyes casting about as if he'd heard something. An argument between Whittle and Fortier. Whittle wanted to head north to reach the west coast north of Macquarie Harbor. Fortier insisted that they go upriver towards the highlands because that is where God says we must go. Understand? Fortier's story. Some days after their escape, the group had little success in hunting and were close to starvation. Dixon records that at this point, Fortier told him a story of how, as a younger man, he had survived for weeks in the Canadian wilderness. He claimed to have killed the Cree trapper he was with. Joe said that the heathen bastard tried to steal from him. Nobody steals from me, or I steal from them their life. Understand? He said. Then he showed me what he called his great treasure, a lucky talisman that he took from the trapper. You see, Dixon, he said, this is why we will succeed. God will show us the way. I think that this was the first time that I realized that I was in the company of a man who was not just desperate, as we all were, but truly dangerous. George Whittle's illness. Already weak, Whittle became violently ill after eating some mushrooms. Dixon and Fortier alternate helping Whittle to move, but after an exhausting day, They stopped at a point not far from where the river turned sharply south. It was clear that Whittle could go no further, and Dixon recounts how Frotier whispered to him that the talisman was not only the thing he took from the trapper. He also took strips of his flesh and ate them. He tells Dixon that God had said that they should do the same with Whittle. Dixon is shocked and refuses to have any part of it, resolving to strike out on his own as soon as he can slip away. Frottier's agitation. The same night, Whittle, now delirious, starts to rave loudly. Dixon notes that Frotier became increasingly agitated, screaming at Whittle to shut his stupid mouth. The account continues. Frotier fell upon Whittle like a madman, strangling the remaining life out of the poor devil. Then Frotier took his axe and began hacking at the dead man, greedily shoving gobbets of flesh into his mouth, all the while muttering something. I knew I must make my escape and went without a word to Frotier. As I fled through the dark forest, I heard behind me a bestial howl, unlike any that I had ever heard or imagined. The voice was Frottier's, of that I am sure, but there were no words in the sound and no reason. I have heard nothing like it since, and I pray to God that I never do. All that remained from that moment was to flee as far from the light of the campfire as that hideous scene and that hideous scene as I could. Dixon's survival. The later passage of the journal recounts Dixon's progress and eventual recapture while making his way west to Macquarie Harbor. After telling the prison authorities about Frottier's madness, an armed search party is sent out to find Frotier. Dixon recounts that he never found out what the search party discovered, although a passage in the second journal written some years later, while Dixon was working on the Victorian goldfields, mentions meeting a former prisoner guard who had been in that party. The guard is described as telling Dixon that on the spot where Whittle was murdered, that the forest was dead as if a blight had struck and doomed the area. My goodness.
Obviously, that took you hours to be able to translate all that and stuff.
I was writing it down furiously, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Professor Burnham's quite excited. He's like going, "Oh, look!" He's like, "Look,
really
look,
disturbing."
Yes, but if this is true, it proves what I was thinking, that this cannibalism, this psychosis is not just limited to the Native Americans, as Fortier was a white man.
Now, Professor, if you look at where it seems like this occurred, is it the mouth of the Gordon River? And we see that they talk about the land being dead or blighted. And look at this news article, and I show him the one of like 2 loggers found dead in 82?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's something biological that was left behind. You know, the blight could be like a virus or something like that. And then the loggers picked it up and got infected or something. I think you might be right. It might be biological.
Yeah, that would make sense. The Gordon River, that's just a little south of here, just across the bay and all. You saw how they at Macquarie. Remember, we stay. That was a hotel I had you guys stay at.
Oh yes,
Because I feel we're so close. We're so close to finding a breakthrough. Oh, this is very exciting. Very exciting.
But what are we trying to find though? Like here we see like the site of a murder. What are you trying to isolate from the journal, Professor?
Well, a location, a place to start looking, and now we know where it took place, and with those others disappearing, we can't. Science demands that we go and inspect. We'll take, of course, cautions and stuff, be able to protect ourselves from if it is a biological agent.
And we're hoping to get samples. What are we hoping to get?
Of course. If we could prove what causes this, think about the discovery.
So we should get the biology department involved and not just us in anthropology.
No, we should go check it out first before we employ other people to go.
Wolf. Yeah. No, I hear you.
I'm always willing to compensate you for it.
How many years ago did this occur?
Which thing? Voyage?
Yeah.
It would have been
Almost 100 years. Right?
Yeah, almost 100 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
About a little over 90 years ago. Yeah.
Well, I guess we could get some outdoor equipment. I don't know what the laws are around here, but at least a gun.
Oh yeah, of course we can all carry guns. Mac probably has a whole arsenal back in his home.
I'm sure you have lab assistants that can do all the heavy lifting. I think, Edward, you and I aren't exactly equipped to lift, shovels and that kind of thing.
No, of course not. We will of course have some lab assistants that can help us all.
That's what interns are for.
Exactly. See if I can find some transport across the bay and to the river and all. Because this is most exciting. Thank you, Reggie. I'm glad I brought you on.
Yeah, good job,
Glad
Reg.
to have been able to help. This is very gruesome.
It is, but it's also 100 years ago.
Well, I mean, there's naval traditions talking about cannibalism that are pretty horrible too.
Oh,
There's
really?
things that are there's the case of the I honestly have a deep and abiding reluctance to say it out loud simply because it's considered extremely bad luck for any kind of sailor or member of the Navy to mention it. But if you ever look up the story of the Essex.
Oh, I will.
Tragedy of the Essex.
Yes. Professor Burnham is familiar with that because it is about cannibalism. Keeper is not. So I'll just
the whale ship. Yes.
Yeah, it's the story that Moby Dick is based on. But it ends up with everybody in a dinghy trying to survive, and one by one they kill and eat each other.
Oh, yeah. And it's quite a fascinating tale. I wrote a paper on it and all. Yes.
Not so viciously though. They volunteered to be killed. And
Was the paper named "There Was a Man from Nantucket"?
No.
Okay. Because that's where it was.
Oh,
It did launch from
Interesting.
Nantucket.
Yeah.
oh, wow. I missed an opportunity there by not naming it. All right. Well, it's like, why don't we all go meet Mac for a pint to celebrate and consolidate our plans for pressing forward to. I'm just so excited. Feel we're on the brink of a discovery here. We'll get our names in the Scientific Britannica.
Yeah. Make sure to lock up those notes, Reggie. You don't want them getting lost or wandering eyes. And I guess all this talk of gold is nonsense. Then the only reference. So there's no treasure.
No, I didn't see it.
not
Didn't
that I
see
could
it.
find it. I mean, there's perhaps. I assume that
Yeah,
what you
did
gave me to
translate
read
the whole
wasn't
thing.
all right.
No,
Right.
no.
I will though, because of that, I will look for codes within the code. Maybe the sentences, once translated, have alternative meanings.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he made this Dixon had money, right? After he got out, he had. So where did he acquire this wealth?
Perhaps the treasure that they're talking about is the talisman.
Yeah. If you remember at the end of it, he talked about how when he was a free man, he was working in gold fields.
Right, the Victoria Goldfield. So that's where for me to go out, and I don't care about this cannibalism stuff, but I'm more concerned about, is there this gold?
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So you guys come to the pub and you see Mac in there. How many beers are you in there, Mac?
4, and I'm arm wrestling that guy.
Oh, all right. All right, give me a strength roll.
That's like a critical success, I think.
All right, yeah, I rolled a 62, which I'm going to assume is not one. So yeah, you kind of pull him over and win another match.
See, this is how bartenders get bad arms.
Well, this reminds me of another drink. Oh, my friends are here.
Goes, oh, wonderful, wonderful. It's like going, oh, got a couple of older ones I see. But that's all right. You have more experience having with drinks.
Well, you don't want them on your relay team, but they're good blokes anyway.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Goes and Professor Burnham comes around. He's like, going, a round of drinks for my friends. He's like, Mac, it's wonderful news. Reggie was able to figure out the code
To the buried treasure?
Well, I mean, to the find where we will be able to prove a scientific discovery that. And there are grants for scientific discoveries, of course. But no buried treasure. Sorry.
He was like waiting to hear the word gold. He doesn't hear it. He just keeps blinking.
Yeah.
He's like going, what? There was mention of a older talisman, and historical items are worth quite a lot of money. Although I doubt it'd be able to be found. It was over 100. It was 100 years ago. But
It doesn't say what it's made of. It could be leather or feathers or something.
Right, deteriorated by now. Yeah.
What's probably more interesting is the medical knowledge behind it. Maybe there is some sort of disease that a person gets if he eats another human. Obviously, all of the diseases that you have as a human, if I ate you, I would get those diseases.
Unless you
they'd be
cook them
diseases.
first.
Yeah, that's not always so. How do you do that? You got to cook the person rather thoroughly.
Yeah.
It's like eating any meat, though, isn't that true?
Yeah, but we're not cows, so we don't necessarily get the diseases that cows
fair
have.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But there's been a long prejudice against eating pork. It's not thoroughly cooked because it carries all different kinds of bacteria, trichinosis, I think.
I mean, on that point, Scott, when you were looking up the documents, weren't you saying that there were like wild men in the mountain was it near this area, the Gordon River area? Is that what you were telling us?
Yes. Yes, there's that account.
I wonder if that infection like spread and got propagated, and that's why 100 years from now, like it might still be around. Because otherwise, like you said, Reggie, who's going to be carrying the disease?
Well, I did overhear a couple locals mentioning that this previous winter they had a severe cold snap, And apparently, a group of miners went disappeared.
Oh dear.
Really?
Do we know where they were?
'Cause, uh, you want to ask some people?
Was that not mentioned during the
Nope,
conversation?
nope,
Oh,
I didn't. Mm-mm.
oh, okay. Um,
Okay.
well, let's assume that I would have asked the barkeep where exactly this happened.
Okay,
is that
yeah.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. It was near the last place they were seen was near the logging community of Woodley.
Where is that, Professor? We're not locals.
'Cause, well, most of your logging communities are along the river. I mean, that's because you need to get the wood into the river to move it easily.
I mean, it sounds like it's we want to make sure we bring precautions because, I see more red flags the more we talk.
Well, I think bringing guns out into the wilderness is always a good idea.
Did someone say guns?
Yeah, I did.
This sounds like quite an adventure we have to look forward to.
Well, there are quite a lot of wild animals, as you know, Mac, here in Tasmania.
I thought I had killed most of them.
Maybe a sample of most of it, but he goes, well, I'll try and get with the logging consortium and get some travel books. How we say, not tomorrow, but the next day.
Well, we'll want to bring supplies if we think like the food and water might be contaminated. We don't want to get the same disease.
Excellent idea. Oh yeah, you think you need a couple days to get prepared then?
Well, that depends on how fast your interns work.
Oh, they're motivated. They want to get their degree. So how about the not the day after tomorrow, but the day after that? We'll meet up, and I'll have us some transportation secured.
I mean, even though it's the middle of summer, I don't think it would make sense for us to bring coats or anything. It's middle of summer, so we should be fine.
Huh. Never
I
hurts.
don't think it would be a bad idea to bring a jacket.
Yeah. Never hurts to be ready.
Yeah, the interns are just going to carry it. That's fine.
Yeah, pack it on then.
Yeah.
We'll need like 8-pack meals and
Yeah, it's some really frail girl that we just keep carry all our coats.
I don't travel without my full cast iron cook set.
that is true.
Okay. All right. So, you guys can prepare what you want to bring out into the wilderness. Professor Burnham, he's going to go work with the Han logging consortium to secure some passage up the Gordon River and all. Yeah. And if you want to roll a survival, and if you pass, then you'll know that what to bring out into the wilderness and all because you're kind of know what you're doing or out back.
I'm just going to wait for
ask
Max to
someone.
tell me.
I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I'm not a camper. Although I was in the Navy, so at least I know how to survive a little bit. But on the ocean.
On the ocean.
I failed my roll oddly enough.
Oh, that is odd.
Yeah. Maybe I'm hungover for a couple days and can't get my act together.
Bring that bendy stick that you carry around all the time.
You're actually you're packing all your beer and stuff. That's what. Okay. All right. Okay, so the 3 days pass, and Professor Burnham, he's got two interns with him, and he's gotten booked you onto uh, a boat that's going down to supply the other little logging villages that are along the river. The company, they're essentially, like company stores and stuff is what they have for the loggers and all. And so they're going to restock it, and that's why the boat is headed up the river. Okay. All right, so you meet the captain of the boat. It is a Richard Harcroft. He greets you. He is he's in his late 40s. His hair is completely gray, and his skin. He looks like a man that's spent his entire life outside working in the sun without like putting on some, so prematurely wrinkled and everything. So. He's quite excited to see you, and he's like going, he's like, it's always interesting to bring someone else along on these trips, and just my mate over here. It's good to have a few extra conversations. It'll take us about 7 hours to get to stop at all the different villages. It's not quite over there. But kick back and enjoy the trip. So the ride across the bay is a little rough and all, but once he takes a left turn to head east into the river, all of you can give me a spot hidden.
Ooh.
Failed.
Let's see. If this is Delta Green, I get critical, but now I'm just normal.
Okay.
I will spend 1 point of luck to pass.
All right. Okay. All right. So if you pass, you notice that once you start going up the river, you know how you get a little wake behind you and all from the boat. You notice that the river is churning, and the water, because you can notice it with the white caps from the boat's wake, you see the water is completely black.
Oh, Captain, the color of the water is very, very dark.
Oh, yeah.
Deep, or what's going on here?
Oh no, that's the tannins from they're leaching into the river and all from the forests and all. He takes a bucket, he kind of dips it down in there and pulls it out. He's like going to it's a tradition for the first time down the river to take a drink of the black water. He's like going, anyone?
No, thanks.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He hands it.
Yeah.
Amoebic dysentery is not curable.
It doesn't taste good, but yeah, he kind of chuckles along with you.
Now, I don't suppose during your many trips, Captain, you've seen anything, weird, especially like traveling by boat, middle of the night. I'm sure you've seen, like, you haven't seen anything like odd, have you?
Oh, well, the mind plays tricks on you when you're
the stories you get to tell.
Here. Yeah, and the stories you get, of course.
So I take out my little journal. I'm a storyteller. Love to, hear some from you.
Oh. He's like, oh, well, I was traveling down the river one time, and I swear I saw this man running. He was completely naked, but this was the dead of winter. He's running, and when I yelled at him to see if he needed any help, he just barked at me and then disappeared into the forest.
And barked, you say?
Barked, yeah, and then when I kept looking, he came. I could have swore I saw him, but then it couldn't have been him because it was a furry creature that was that I saw moving.
Oh, Mac, what type of creatures
are out here from your days hunting that would look like that?
Oh, there's alligators, crocodiles,
It's
snakes.
furry.
I don't know.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something.
Yeah.
it was a furry alligator.
Was it an aborigine that you saw?
Oh, no. The man, it was a white man. Yeah.
Perhaps a long lost breed of monkeys.
Yeah. Me.
Not in Australia.
Yeah. But, I
That
mean,
is
like,
crazy.
other things that I've seen, I mean, you'll see stuff moving in the water, and as you can probably tell, you can't see, more than a fingernail deep, and it gets the water gets so black from all the tannin and stuff, and so every once in a while you see some ripples go by that are bigger than any fish that you could imagine. And once I swear I saw something come up. It was just teeth. You guys can all give a psychology.
Yeah. Oh, 004 again.
Nice.
Let me see.
Wait, what's my psychology? Oh, I've
That's-
actually got a high psychology.
Yeah.
Against my psychology of 10, I failed.
Okay.
So that's extreme. He's
Yeah.
pulling our leg.
It
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
It makes sense for Reggie. There's a long tradition and people that make their living on the water to tell tall
I just keep writing it down.
stories,
So
and
teeth. Yeah.
they kind of enjoy pulling the legs of people that don't live at
Land
don't
lubbers.
live off the
Ask
land.
him
lovers.
about drop bears and bunyips.
Yeah. It's like going.
Definitely drop bears here.
He's like, we might Otto. I might even I've seen a snipe once in a while. You might have to go hunt for one,
Oh, a
to catch
snipe,
it.
you say?
Yes.
Fascinating. Tell me more.
Oh, well, you
Writing
have
it
to
down.
be very quiet.
Tss.
Okay. So as you kind of chug along with it, all you can hear is the chug 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 of the ship. The interns they're kind of sitting around looking, and you come to the first little stop. The captain goes, "This is Piner's Landing. This is where we provide some of the R&R for the loggers, without having to take it all the way back to Bernie." And so he's like going, "Hey Jack, get out there and start unloading the goods for him. So we'll be here for about an hour and all, but the main stop's going to be another few hours down the way." So
Can you get off the
it's
boat
a
and walk
big
around?
camp or what is it? Like it's just
it's
a lot of
mostly like
buildings?
if you've ever went to like summer camp as a
Yeah,
Boy
yeah.
Scout, it's like those, not quite tents, but not cabins either. It's
Right.
yeah. So you see a couple. The only people you see here because it's during the day, or you see like the medic and all the doctor.
I'm gonna go and chat up the doctor and ask about like frostbite or like the recent like cold snap and stories about that if they have any information and obviously food poisoning, like things we should worry about for if we're staying out in the woods.
Okay, yeah. If you ask about the cold, they tell you. He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah. The worst winter I remember, that was 5 years ago, and 21 is it took until February, almost a complete summer before the snow melt had moved on enough that we could move the logs. Is just cold. Last year was really cold also. It seems like it just happened. It's been happening more and more lately.
Yeah, well, here, well, obviously the camps along the river relies on, Captain Richard over there to supply them. Well, if it gets that cold, do the loggers just like hunt for food, or how does all that work?
Well, if we can't, what we'll often do if we can't, get any food to it and stuff, we try and bring as many back to the town as
Ah.
possible. The others, we survive on jerky and
Oh,
local plant life and all. But there's plenty of game out here to eat.
oh, good to know. Good to know. Good to know. And when it for local game, nothing to worry about. The water. Obviously the black water isn't no good to drink. So like, do you drink melt from rivers, or where do you get fresh water, or do you just boil the black water?
He brings you over to, they've got like this little filtration thing set up where it runs it through the charcoal and everything to kind of
Oh,
remove
good
the
to know. Good to know. Good to know.
he goes, if you do drink, if the captain did get you to drink some of the river water, he's like, I got a couple pills that'll flush you out if you.
Good to know. Good to know.
He thinks it's funny, but I keep telling him it's not funny when the man's laid up for a week shitting himself.
I look back towards where Reggie is near the boat. I'm like, that's it for me.
Okay, all right. Anyone else going to do anything for the hour that you're here?
Oh, and really just walk around and
Okay.
since we're on dry land a little bit.
Yeah.
Sharpening my machete.
All right. Yep. That'll be no problem at all. Excellent. Okay. So after they got it loaded up, the captain's like going, well, let's keep rolling on to Woodley. And so they kind of shove off, and as you're about a few minutes away from Piner's Landing, there's a sharp turn to the north, and as you go that way, everyone can give me a spot hidden.
Ooh,
Terrible rolls.
No.
triple
Wow.
zero. So I guess that's 100. Crap.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Bill,
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Failed.
So Edward's the only one that passed. Okay. So Edward, you see this large furry creature kind of go running off into the woods. You just kind of maybe see it from the side, and it's dancing in between the trees, so you don't get this great look at it. But in the direction it comes from, suddenly all of you hear this really loud howl. I mean, it's it kind of makes your the hair on your arms kind of stand up and everything. So, not like a coyote howl or anything like that. It's definitely a large creature howl.
do
Howl.
I recognize it? I spent a lot of time.
You
Of
don't.
course.
You've never heard that howl before.
Weird.
Wait, I saw it. It was the furry creature the captain was talking about.
Right.
What?
Well, I don't mean to
Oh.
alarm anybody, but that's a howl I've never heard before.
Oh,
The captain heard this? Hal?
Captain,
What?
he looks kind of he kind of looks up when it happens, and he kind of looks to the sides, and then he looks over. He's like going, that's the old Humboldt unicorn's howl is what they call that.
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what that is.
Mm. Goes, it's a old what was it like in America? They talk about the Sasquatch, right? It's our Sasquatch down here. Some some large white creature with one horn coming out of it, but he can freeze you solid if he stares at you.
How big is this
Hell.
thing?
Oh, he's bigger than a man.
Huh.
So
White fur, you say?
that's what the stories tell.
Could make a nice pelt.
What was the color of fur that I saw?
White.
Oh,
Do we remember any stories from like Aboriginal stories about this at all, or does it seem very different from sort of local folklore?
I mean, you kind of, it's got a lot of similarity to like the Yeti stories and all. A lot of civilizations around the world have kind of like stories about giant ape-like creatures living out in the woods and all. So yeah. All right.
Ed, did you drink any of the water?
nope.
I have pills if you're starting to feel weird, and I show him the pills I got from the doctor. Let me
How
know.
do I
I
feel?
know what I saw.
Give me a Constitution roll.
Hell yeah. That's
If
a
I start throwing
extreme
up,
success.
they're never going to believe me.
Success. Okay. Yep. You're good. Yeah.
I feel
You're
great. Yeah.
not cramping up yet.
Give me another one.
Yeah. Give me some more water. All right. Excellent. All right. That looks like a good spot. We're a little bit over halfway through it, so that would be a good spot for us to Paula.
Cool. Creepy. Our players included Billy Chung, Dan DePolis, Brian Ridge, Thomas Grooms, and myself, with Keith Craig as the keeper of arcane lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.